Had I not been a summer of love disaffected teenage dropout, I was destined to be a commercial artist and attend art school like all my musical heroes before me. Oh well, such is youth and destiny. Music and art were my thing, especially album cover art, which is probably why I've always been an admirer of Claus Voormann's art. As most Beatles fans know, Claus Voormann designed the cover of the group's 1966 Revolver album, which won him a Grammy Award for Best Album Cover. The Revolver design is reminiscent of the late Victorian artist Aubrey Beardsley's monochrome pen and ink style, which saw a revival in the 1960s, as can be seen here with the cover of Procol Harum's debut album, which was released following their Summer of Love Whiter Shade of Pale #1 hit. In addition to the Fab's Revolver cover, Claus Voormann created another pen and ink illustration featuring the Beatles. It was in a similar style, entitled Decade of Eternity. The influence of the Beatles and their impact on the 60s decade may not last an eternity, but we can still feel the ripples of cultural change even now. Claus Voormann's illustration shows the Beatles' evolutionary stages from Fab Mop Tops to Sgt. Pepper's Band, which morphed into those strange creatures on the Magical Mystery Tour cover. On the Decade of Eternity print, there are full-size faces of John, Ringo, and funny enough, 2 Pauls. I flipped the horizontal lying central second Paul, so he can be seen more clearly here. But oddly enough, no George. It's not as though Voormann couldn't create a good likeness of George either, as we can see by the Revolver cover, which has an instantly recognisable George Harrison in the lower right-hand corner, outlined here in yellow. You would have expected Claus Voormann's Decade of Eternity print to feature Ringo, Paul, John and George looking something like this. So why no George, but 2 Pauls instead on the Voormann illustration? For those who wish to dive deeper into the Paul is Dead conspiracy imagery clues, there's a Cuban-heeled beetle boot floating in the water, plus a yellow submarine, and an upright piano from the Strawberry Fields promotional video, and what looked like a pair of John Lennon's broken glasses for more potential symbolism. The Paul is Dead topic has been in the mainstream press headlines, those historical fiction books and their associated online channels and groups. Any death-based theory can gain traction, it seems, especially if it's repeated enough, whether it's in the mainstream press or, and especially, online. The more gorier the story, the better. Yet even among the PIDers there is surprisingly little agreement, but plenty of alternative theories as to how Paul McCartney allegedly died. Even outside of the PID orthodox car crash theory, among the online cyberweeds are the theories he met a watery end instead. Dropped into the Pacific Ocean after the group's San Francisco 29th of August 1966 Candlestick Park concert, or was dropped into the Bay of Biscay from a helicopter being another, on a completely different date. Such is the internet PID wonderland. What starts as someone's speculation can eventually become another less discerning person's fact, especially when repeated sufficiently. But maybe Claus Voormann's watery illustration is providing the viewer with PID and other clues. After all, he would be best placed to know. Of course, I'm wondering aloud.